It's time for our daily dose of Cope, and we have weekend anchor Masha Katzniff on the news anchor's desk. Let's go ahead and get right into some of these posts. Lots of different news going on right now. I wonder how many of his own voters are going to be kicking themselves because of this student loan situation. This is an article from Business Insiders. It says Trump voters with student loans are having buyer's remorse over his latest debt collection moves. Student loan borrowers who voted for Trump said they're frustrated with collection restart. They still support Trump's stance on collecting student loans, but they think default punishments are happening too fast. While negative credit reporting resumed, Trump paused Social Security garnishment. All right, let's get into the meat of the article. Tracy Davis, 42, still thinks that voting for Trump was a good choice. So she hasn't felt enough stress yet. She hasn't felt enough financial pain yet because she still doesn't regret her vote. I don't know where that accent came from. She still doesn't regret her vote. But she wishes the president would think more carefully about how his actions are affecting student loan borrowers like herself, like me. This is affecting me. I did vote for Trump, Davis told Business Insider. This was a very big surprise for me. I mean, I was thinking he was going to fix some things, and it didn't go the way I was seeing it going with student loans. Davis is referring to the Trump administration's move to restart collections on defaulted student loans in early May after a 5-year pause. Negative credit reporting for defaulted student loans resumed in October 2024, and the Trump's Education Department announced that collections would resume in an effort to restore accountability to the student loan system. Borrowing money and failing to pay it back isn't a victimless offense, Linda McMahon, Trump's education secretary, wrote in an opinion piece. Debt doesn't go away, it gets transferred to others. If borrowers don't pay their debts to the government, the taxpayers do. She's talking about victimless offenses when her husband is allegedly a sexual predator, but that's neither here nor there. Trump put a lot of them in the cabinet. Prior to the pandemic pause, Davis says she was able to make her $150 student loan payments. However, once the pause lifted, she was billed nearly $400, which she said she could not afford. It caused her to fall behind on payments, and her credit score took a hit after negative credit reporting resumed. I think they pulled the trigger a little too fast, especially with hitting the credit report, because we're not all in the same situation, Davis said. I wish there was more thought put into it. Business Insider has heard from dozens of student loan borrowers who are delinquent or in default on their debt, including some who voted for Trump. Borrowers tend to go into default after 270 days of missed payments. Buyer's remorse. Miranda Metheny, 37, is in default on her student loans, and she's rethinking the vote she cast for Trump. I'm having a bit of buyer's remorse, Metheny said. Now seeing what is all taking place, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have voted. The thing is, not voting would still put her in this exact same position. So this is the reason why these people still need to learn a lesson. Metheny is unable to work due to a disability, and she can't afford to dig into the $600 monthly disability insurance to pay off her student loans while also helping support her 2 children. So she's disabled and poor MAGA. Make that make sense. These people are sitting up here trying to strip away funds for disabled people and poor people, and she voted for Trump. She really needs to learn a lesson. We already don't make enough to really even survive at this point. We're all robbing Peter to pay Paul, and now you're going to cut into that. I worry about people that are already hurting. Now we have your Chan just trying to reason with Donald Trump, saying, Mr. President, I voted for you. However, let's not use our troops on our own citizens. Yes, some of those rioters are the illegal immigrants that should get deported, but some of those rioters are still our own. This is not the strategy. Let Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom handle it. If they don't, that makes it their fault. However, utilizing our troops in the homeland makes you, your supporters, and America look bad domestically and internationally. He absolutely does look bad. Nothing that he has done so far makes him look good here or abroad. He looks like a hot mess. Trump and MAGA are snatching safety nets from poor people, disabled people, veterans, just kids. And a lot of these cuts are going to hit red states that overwhelmingly voted for him. Now, the whole situation with Medicaid is really going to jack up their citizens because they pull Medicaid. This is going to put hospitals in peril. So this is an article about Kentucky. It says proposed Medicaid cuts could put 35 Kentucky hospitals at risk of closing. It says U.S. Senate Democrats are raising concerns about proposed cuts to Medicaid outlined in Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill. Yes, that is literally the name of this bill. What's so crazy? The Democrats are literally concerned about the country, and Republicans in their own states don't give a damn about their own constituents. They're like, yep, cut it, cut it, cut it. But Democrats are like, no, this is going to put people in peril. And they're not even concerned that this is red versus blue. They want to govern the country. All right, it says in a letter to the president, they listed 338 rural hospitals that they say are at risk of closing if the proposed cuts are implemented. These hospitals are all across the board, but certain states, red states, are particularly affected, said U.S. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Kentucky had the most hospitals on the list of any state with 35. It'd be devastating to what is a strong rural hospital system, said Governor Andy Beshear. The Congressional Budget Office says the changes would save more than $800 billion in federal spending over the next decade, but Governor Andy Beshear says the cuts would cost Americans and Kentuckians their lives. It's literally going to make people expire. They're literally trying to take out people. Back in the day, I'm old enough to remember when Republicans were saying that the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, was going to be a bunch of death panels. But these people are really death panels, the way they are going to cause people to lose their funding and cause rural hospitals to close. All right, it says healthcare is a basic human right, and the part of healthcare that they would cover the people that we love the most, our parents and our kids. That's what Governor Beshear says. Supporters of Trump's budget bill say it targets excesses and abuses within the Medicaid program. Congressman Andy Barr sent WKYT the following statement in response to the Democrats' comments on Thursday. Nothing could be further from the truth. We are strengthening Medicaid by kicking millions of illegal immigrants currently on Medicaid off. We are banning Medicaid from paying for transgender surgeries. These common sense changes to Medicaid refocus the program on what it should be, therefore, to be a safety net for Americans in need. You know what? The way they keep talking, the way they keep trying to reframe it, they are still going to harm a bunch of people, even if there are not that many illegals. Why do they keep on talking about illegals getting Medicaid and transgender surgeries? Even if they knock all that off, that will not get them $800 billion. Congressman Hal Rogers is also responding to the comments. Claims that Congress is slashing Medicaid and jeopardizing our rural hospitals are blatant lies. In fact, the Kentucky Hospital Association applauds the Medicaid reforms, saying patients in Kentucky will continue to have care where they are and when they need it. The reconciliation bill will wholly protect the future of Medicaid by removing waste, fraud, and abuse. Able-bodied individuals without small children in the home who choose not to work are receiving the same coverage as disabled Americans, low-income seniors, and single parents. This legislation requires them to work at least 80 hours per month and removes illegal immigrants from the program to help preserve this vital healthcare assistance for American people who really need it. So that is what they're saying, the same talking point. Now let's talk about South Dakota, where nearly 70% of its voters voted for Trump. It says now some share frustrations as they brace for the impact of tariffs on their local economy. In eastern South Dakota and the surrounding area, nearly 70% of voters picked Donald Trump during the 2024 election. Although few regret their decision, this agriculture-based economy is starting to feel financial pressure from Trump's tariff decisions. Now, I don't know what would have been better. Jamie Basinger, a local waitress, told CNN, admitted that she now doubts her choice after the president's first 100 days in office. I was expecting a lower cost of your everyday living things. Groceries are already outrageous, and then we put tariffs on across the seas or whatever, like China, she said. It just makes everything more expensive for everybody. Basinger is not alone. Becky Hoffer, a freight broker who votes Democrat, watched her neighbors vote for policies that will affect the community. The biggest thing that frustrates me is that I feel that like nobody cares right now until it affects them. Exactly. They don't give a damn about the other people impacted. It's when it starts affecting me. That's why they deserve their faces to be eaten. Like, rah.
I'm happy right now because I haven't seen near as many rainbow flags and rubbish as we've seen last year.
They're making the kids wear these flags and these hats.
Yes.
Right? And it's like, don't make the kids wear these flags and these hats and make it their entire personality.
No.
Absolutely.
They make it their whole identity. They've got the shirts, they've got the flags, they got the hats, they got the shirts. It's like it's their whole personality. You got these people with these flags, they're waving it in our faces.
Right. I don't care if you're gay.
Like, just don't wave this flag in my face. These flags everywhere that they wave around in everyone's face. It's become their entire personality.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have these people with their flags and their hats that they wave around in everyone's faces, and it's become their entire personality.
I live in a place where everybody is gay. I could say
You can't say gay, it's Florida.
Oh. No, that's only at Disney.
You should have seen how it looked me trying to just get on a flight to get down here with a MAGA hat on. They treated me like I was Osama bin Laden.
It's become harder to be open about your identity nowadays. Right?
Yeah, people just need to speak up. They need to say what they believe. I'm a straight male as well.
You're a straight white male.
And I'm proud of that.
You should see my truck. I can't see out my back window because I got so many bumper stickers. Just on a Saturday or Sunday, I got nothing to do. I put my flags out and I ride through town to remind everybody.
I can't wear a MAGA hat in some places because, some people don't like that identity. Can you imagine like going someplace and being attacked just for your identity?
That's crazy.